force as an agency that is here to serve and protect us. And the police force they're not where they need to be. But I think that with this commissioner, they have made rapid change in their professionalism. And a lot of persons in Jamaica and on the road who interact with these police day to day can attest to that they have seen some form level of professionalism increase in the police force since the inception of this new police commissioner. He's doing a wonderful job, I would say.
Yeah, right. I want to play something Delroy Scratchy from Mr. Warmington. Mr. Warmington was speaking about the greener. I want my listeners to listen to it, and I want us to have a little discussion on it. Listen to it.
Members of Parliament, as the chairman said, I say nothing to defend. I'm totally unorthodox.
Are you hearing it, Scratchy?
Yes, I'm hearing it.
What he helped me to remind it. This man served together for 40 years. This man 56 years involved in politics and 26 years a member of Parliament. And every year he has to be going on.
So Scratchy, he's 56 years in the politics. That's Mr. Warmington, eh?
That's a very long time. Trust me, Mr. Warmington is here for a very long time.
What's your view about Mr. Warmington, Scratchy, before we continue playing the tape? What do you think about him?
I mean, he's one of our most popular politicians. He's a politician who's very different. Jamaica and the wider society views him as a no-joke man. He's a man who talks his mind. We have also seen instances where he's not what you would call a yes man. But once he's very strident on his point, even if it is to oppose his own party, he will oppose his own party as well. We've seen that time to time. So I think what Mr. Warmington we can say.
Do you know, Scratchy, that Mr. Warmington has the largest majority in the entire parliament?
Exactly. I mean, in the coronavirus last election in 2020,
he's not a Garrison.
In 2020, Mr. Warmington came out with 11,000 votes in a pandemic, despite everyone receiving low voter turnout. Mr. Warmington managed to get 11,000 votes. So that's significant.
11,185.
That's significant.
Who else can do that?
We have seen garrisons from the both political parties. We have seen West Kingston, which is considered a garrison. West Kingston have managed to bring out those numbers. Again, I think it's Mr. Warmington's style of politics, the way the way how he is with his constituents. He connects with them. He's there on the ground with them, and I think they like his style of politics, and it's the reason why they're always coming out to support him.
Okay, let's continue listening.
Sure.
I remember more. The time before there's a lose, one and only two persons that scored 11,000 votes. The last time we lose, I scored 11,000 votes in COVID with a majority of over 5,000. So what the men like me, yes or no? What is important is that the people of Southwest St. Catherine like what I say and like who represent that. And I'm going to be a hypocrite. It shield my position and my belief. You have some guys, some of the poll, when you done what have you, and I always say, remember, is free. Because there's no poll. And I maintain that's not him doing the PNP poll. I don't see it out there. I don't feel it out there. That's why some of my colleagues ignore what they're saying, do the work on the ground, secure my position.
So Scratchy, he's saying that the Don Anderson polls is not credible. You would agree with that?
I mean, to some extent, of course, I would agree with that. We have seen also where members of the People's National Party or supporters have come out and cast even their own doubts on the Dan Anderson internal poll that he has done for their party in terms of their candidate selection. I think Mr. Dan Anderson has put himself in a compromising position where his credibility is so and is on the line. There's not
irreparable damage, Scratchy. Irreparable damage. It cannot be trusted again. It should not be trusted.
And I think he has and that is as a result of the opposition. I think he has let the opposition damage his polling
Integrity.
and him himself as a
Yeah,
person.
man.
So you agree with Mr. Warmington that the Don Anderson polls, but Scratchy, is there a distinction to be made between Don Anderson, the Don Anderson poll, which he does?
You want to call him Con Anderson, or you don't want to compromise yourself, neighbor?
No. I prefer to stay with his name.
I call him Con.
The point is that the PNP pays for a poll. It should be called the PNP poll.
Exactly.
And the PNP poll done by Don Anderson and not the Don Anderson poll. So there has to be a distinction between Don Anderson, who polls on behalf of the Cleaner or the RGR communication groups, and the PNP. I wonder if you are understanding the distinction that I'm trying to make.
I understand what you're saying, neighbor. I understand what you're saying.
Why is it then that the Gleaner publishes the poll, publishes a PNP poll as a national poll? That's not fair.
When you have people like Mr. Matt, okay, go to
Right.
When you have people like Mr. Matalan publicly supporting Mark Golding, it shows his partisans' views, and therefore it is obvious that he clings to one party. And being a part of the RJR group, it makes also the RJR group.
Where is the evidence, though, Delroy, that the RJR communication group and the Gleaner are campaigning or in the pocket?
It's called indirect. It's called indirect. It's an indirect thing in a neighbor. So it is for you to open up your eyes and see beneath the surface. Now, as I said earlier, I'll have to go back on it. If the guy made it clear, not my opinion, the guy distinguishedly make it clear, say, look, I am in favor of the opposition leader. And when you are also in favor of the opposition leader, hold on, neighbor, and you're also a part of the public media.
Does he control the opinion? Does he control the editors? Does he have editors?
Of course, when you as the boss of any company, sir, I think your workers take your instructions or guidelines, and anyone who goes out of line, well, more likely they will face the consequences. And would
you say that Nationwide is a pro-JLP station?
No, sir. I would say Nationwide. It goes both ways. You call investigative journalism. Now the PNP has a big problem with investigative journalism. So whenever time Nationwide gets very, let me say now, digging in terms of PNP matters, they brand them as being JLP. But is this the same Nationwide that also calls out the JLP for its shortfalls or inconsistencies, sir? So to say Nationwide is a partisan thing or clinging to one side.
I am not saying that. I am not saying that.
No, I'm not saying you're saying, I'm speaking now in a general sense. In terms of like for ones and ones who might be of that view. I mean, the people that made it clear say they have done investigative journalism and fear, not only investigative journalism, fear and factual investigative journalism on either end. Whilst he might mash cans on either end and either end might call him this and call him that, it is fair to say though that Nationwide today are conducting themselves in an investigative journalism manner, and that is good for Jamaica. Whilst other media houses may be acting contrary, we applaud Nationwide for their truthful, investigative journalism. Hands down.
Let's continue to listen to Mr. Warmington.
Not there at all. Not there. Our workers, I did it back in the parish council election where a lot of people didn't go. And I'm saying, don't worry yourself. Come general, a different subject, different issue, and we are seeing it right now. The Labourites are fired up.
So Scratchy, Labourites are fired up?
Most definitely, we can see that the Jamaica Labour Party is fired up and very energized at this moment. I don't know what exactly. There's a lot of things to to put to this massive increase in the support for the Jamaica Labour Party coming into the new year without the launch of a national campaign. I personally owe it to social media, the presence of the bloggers on social media and the presence on social media. The Jamaica Labour Party is definitely fired up. The key thing now, neighbor, is to see how long can the Jamaica Labour Party keep this momentum. Can we carry it all the way to whenever the Prime Minister calls this general election?
And Mr. Warmington is suggesting that the party supporters did not come out to vote during the local elections. Do you agree with that?
Exactly. We have seen the numbers. We have seen close to 150, 160,000 voters less came out than who came out in the general election for the Jamaica Labour Party. So definitely the Jamaica Labour Party supporters did not come out to vote in the local election.
Yes. Delroy, Labour Party supporters are fired up.
In fact, so fired up and confident right now, we're actually converting people who no longer want to be deemed short-sighted. People now are letting go of failure and now embracing performance. Gradually it's happening. It won't be a national swing in terms of like that mindset. But the numbers we're getting is showing that, listen, the PMP is even losing numbers from its base. Even diehards are now realizing that, look, this is about Jamaica, not about the Jamaica Labour Party nor PMP. But because it is the Labour Party now taking Jamaica forward, the PMP is grappling to hold on to its own base. Hence, you see the campaign with them do. They are trying to reach to the most illiterate and low-thinking Jamaicans, not the more forward-thinking Jamaicans, because they are losing traction among Jamaicans who are of a forward-minded mindset, right? And therefore, when they reflect back in the past and then they look at now, the nostalgia of the past, man, it is painstaking for most or many who take a glance back into the past, especially for them alive now and see the reality, the changes and the difference. You can't help these people but to make the change that they make. So hence the Labour Party is becoming more favorable right now, going into the polls. And we expect...
You are suggesting, Delroy, that diehard PNP supporters.
I am not suggesting. I am telling you that it is happening under our very nose all over Jamaica.
Yes?
We're expecting people let us not call names, but we expect some PMP strongholds to crumble in the next general election. We won't specify to give them a hint as to who we're talking, but I can tell them to feel the rhythm and dance to it and so forth and prepare to take away themselves.
There's a rhythm?
There's a rhythm. And we're asking the PMP to feel it, dance with it, and take with themselves.
Yes. All right. Let's continue listening to Mr. Warmington. Very interesting, Delroy.
These guys have been out there chatting about that nonsense. Now they are all going down and behind. Because when I sell, Jamaica not buy that.
So when they must sell, Delroy, Jamaica not buy it.
We're not buying a backward policy government. Jamaica stop by that. We're not buying a government who has a run with it budget. Jamaica not buy that anymore, Mr. Neighbor. Yes. Jamaica not buy the puss in a bag thing. No more. Jamaica not buy it anymore. The promises. For example, this big decorative dance on the stage and then this big announcement. Jamaica will be free, patrol free 2003. Listen now, guy. Jamaica not buying that anymore. We're buying performance. And because Jamaica is buying performance.
What are they selling? What is it
they're selling old Jamaica. And the old Jamaica is not supposed to be sold economically wise.
Ask Tina Times to come over here to tell me what it is that that is being sold. I want to talk to somebody.
I know they're selling the old Jamaica, hence they draw for Pattison, the wrecking ball of Jamaica, the modern wrecking ball of the PMP, the modern wrecking ball for Jamaica economy. The PMP is trying to tell Jamaica, look, you see this backward thing that we were off all, let's go back there. Let's go back there, Jamaica, where we just depend on the state resources for social benefit. The Jamaica Labour Party today, we are not about providing Jamaicans with sympathy in the most destitute situations. The Labour Party today is giving Jamaicans opportunity out of hardship, thus completely taking what the PMP was giving them out of them head, sympathy and hardship.
And to add to what Delroy is saying, neighbor, I personally think that the People's National Party has underestimated the electorate. They have not realized how advanced the electorate has become over the past couple of years. The electorate of today is not the electorate of yesterday, where they bank and propaganda and misinformation.
The people have grown, Scratchy. You feel that the Jamaican electorate have grown, eh?
Exactly, we have seen that the Jamaican electorate have grown. It's not just about mere slogans and slogans. It's much
so that
more
means
than that.
You have to match the growth of the people with the politics, eh?
Exactly. When I hear Mr. Warmington saying that the country is not buying what they're selling, honestly, I don't see what they're selling. I don't think they're selling anything. There's nothing you're selling.
That we have not yet seen what is on the table.
Exactly. This government, you're in opposition and you're seeking government, and up to now you can come to the table with something that is formative, something that is constructive, something that makes sense to the electorate. They have underestimated the electorate.
That would be a dereliction of duty for
a gross dereliction of duty, neighbor.
Yes,
gross
sir,
dereliction
for
of duty.
Party.
And that just to show you how backward thinking the People's National Party is. They are still coming now with a type of politics that Jamaica has moved forward from. Jamaica has moved forward from.
Do they think that they can win on hype?
Exactly, but with the hype,
but neighbor, hold on, Scratchy. They would have done or played that card on Jamaica or those cards on Jamaica before and would have came out victorious. So the PMP are having a nostalgic moment, thinking that, hey, let us gain some confidence of the past or from the past. We used to throw it out there to Jamaicans. Omar Davis said it best. Give them to run with it, right? Give them the slangs, give them the slogans, give them the dance, and so on. It was always, let me tell you, the PMP was always about making Jamaicans feel good and not necessarily about making Jamaicans doing good. Big difference. Now the JLP today, whether Jamaicans want to admit it, Jamaicans are doing good. More Jamaicans are doing good. Under PMP, more Jamaicans were only feeling better. That's all they were, feeling better. They were not living better. Under Jamaica Labour Party, they are feeling better and living better. Under the PMP, it was about sympathy and promises and promises. That makes them give the people a feel-good moment. Nothing to back it, no substance. The people were made to suffer. Years upon years, every budget, tax. I land by saying, neighbor, today the Jamaica Labour Party can proudly boast of a track record of no new taxes. And this has allowed for the private sector to grow. It provided breathing space for small and medium-sized entrepreneur or businesses. Hence, the government today have not increased or added any new taxes, but they have collected more revenue from taxes because they would have created this fiscal space for the economy to grow by not pressuring the drivers of the economic growth, which is largely the private sector. The breath of fresh air where the private sector can now breathe, it is now reflecting on the Jamaican people. Hence, the unemployment rate going down, investor confidence going up, consumer confidence going up. All those factors are the main attributes of also why the economy continues to be on a stable path. While some might use the imperfection of it to preach doom and gloom, it is on a path that Jamaica still is resilient to economic shocks, and this is an undeniable reality. We can draw for the recent COVID-19 and also the recent hurricanes that hit Jamaica. We have done well. We have come a far way, and we admit we have a far to go. The best party to do so, neighbor, is the party in power now, the Jamaica Labour Party.
I hear you. Scratchy.
Mute your mic, Ricardo. Go ahead, neighbor.
Scratchy, I see that the leader of opposition is suggesting that although the party has not raised taxes in 9 years, but that is just theoretical. Practically, the party has raised taxes because it has collected billions more in taxes. Is that a correct argument?
No, I mean that's misleading. That's
Disingenuous.
He hasn't gone in detail to explain the reason. He just come with a baseless statement. Yes, the government has collected more taxes.
No, sir. More revenue scratchy from taxes.
But even who say, if we're gonna go with his context there and say yes, the government has collected more taxes, not with any new tax or any direct taxes. We have an unemployment rate of 3.5%. Hence, more persons are working. Hence, more persons are paying GCT. The government will automatically collect more taxes from GCT. So it's common sense, but the leader of opposition just come in and make that baseless statement. He has to go in detail and explain that it's not any form of direct taxing. No, again, neighbor, we have more vehicles on the road. The government is collecting more from taxes from registration of vehicles. We have more companies being registered. The government is collecting more money from those revenues. So yes, taxes are going to be improved, but it's not any form of new taxes directly on the pockets of any Jamaicans.
But in an environment,
in fact, the government went ahead and reduced GCT. There was a reduction in the GCT. So the government sought to appease the Jamaican people pockets.
So the PNP's position that the government may not have raised taxes, but it is collecting more taxes, which amounts to
utter garbage and misleading, as Scratchy said, sir.
Yes, they have to tell you that it's not direct taxes. The reason why these taxes are increases is because we have more vehicles on the road than ever. Well, we have had at least 200,000 to 300,000 vehicles on the road since this government is in power. We have had more than 200,000 people to the working force. Those persons are spending money every day. Goods that they're buying attract GCT. Hence, there would be an increase in government allocation.
The investors that are investing raw material into Jamaica to turn into finished product for Jamaicans to consume, they too contribute to taxes because they have to pay tariffs and duties, right? And more that activity is happening, more things are being brought here for Jamaican consumption. Not only that, sir, Jamaica is a hub in the Caribbean for other Caribbean countries. Cars are imported from other countries, how you call it again? Japan, come here, and then leave from our ports and go to different small islands. So we're a driving force in the Caribbean. We're not only just generating revenue from our activities only. The fact that we're a hub, we also generate income from that as well, sir. So of course the government.
Yeah, and then again, I think it's misleading and disingenuous for the government, for the opposition leader, to come and make a baseless statement like that and try to trick the Jamaican populace into believing that increase in revenues mean increase in taxes. No, it's not.
Increase in revenue is not the same as increase in taxes.
No direct taxes were put on the backs of Jamaicans. No direct tax was increased on the backs of Jamaicans.
Then the corresponding argument is that if you are collecting more, since as your tax revenue is doing so well, why not take the 40 billion and invest it or put it into social programs?
No, sir, because social programs across the world, smaller economies are prone to collapse primarily because of too much social programs and lack of productivity to support or fund social programs. We have to grow the productivity level at Jamaica first before we can think of overfunding the social programs, because you don't want to develop a mindset of laziness. Perfect example, we see a lot of Jamaicans exploiting the PAD program benefits. Hence, so much other amendments had to be made to make sure, we try to make sure, unless Jamaicans are exploited and they really need it and use it for the needs that the money or grants are for. So we don't want to develop a lazy mindset where people feel it is okay to make repeated life mistakes that will have a ripple effect on their economic status. for years. So we are trying to instead fund more opportunity like programs. For example, Hartrust NTA, as I tell you, and also RADA. So through RADA, if you're interested in agriculture, you are able to get grants and also benefits to develop your agricultural endeavors. So this is a government about creating opportunities. So therefore, lessening the amount of people that needs or require social benefits. We wouldn't mind neighbor Maryland. We wouldn't mind by saying we prefer be a handicap and get the social benefits them. God no.
And to add to that, then, right? And to add to that, neighbor, when you look at social programs, neighbor, with a government where you have drastically bring down unemployment to 3.5%. You have increased your workforce to 200,000 to 300,000 persons. Social programs are very important, yes, but you're not going to invest all the 40 billion that are in social programs where less persons are now working, more persons are in the working field. Poverty is down, poverty level is down. I mean, we have the PART program, which is the largest social program in the country. We have seen an increase to the PART program. We have also seen an increase to the pension for persons who are getting 2,500 to now 9,000. We have seen the government has gradually improved all the social programs that are already here. But despite social programs in there, we have an infrastructure problem, which the government has to put as a priority as well.
I noticed that 20,000 Jamaicans have not collected their 20,000 rebate or tax refund. Why is that so?
The different factors has caused that. We have certain employers who have not paid over persons statutory declarations over the years. So that is also a hindrance to persons collecting it. And we have also persons who might not fall in the tax net or up to date with the time span where to fall into collecting that. So there's a whole lot of different factors that lead up to that, not just one factor.
Great. Can you bring in Ricardo? I see we have a guest online. If you hear what he has to say from his scratch.
I mean, that's Ricardo. Go ahead. Ricardo.
Yes, my brother.
Ricardo.
No, may I say with the PART program thing, may I say, I think every child born in a country we get stipend from the government, whether or not, and everybody who depend it, I agree they deserve it still, but you know may I say, I think every child from your born in the country as a Jamaican, the parents get like a stipend for assist with upbringing of the kids, you know may I say?
So what about persons who are considered middle class and are well off? Do you think those persons should be benefiting from a social program like PART?
No, not really, because
Well, you say everyone, you say every child that born.
No, well, yeah, every child. I think, me I contradict myself by saying every child, because and every parents have it every time, you know. Because you cannot work as a parent and every day you have it to give your child. Because you have other expenses same way. Other than growing up, other than like providing like lunch money and food and whatever for the kids, you know what I say? So I think with the assistance from the government, you don't have to give them like every month or whatever, but you know what I say? Because people with the pampas still struggle.
Ricardo, it takes to care. So instead of making them the amendments the way you think, we are more interested in developing infrastructure, which is our main contributor towards boosting productivity. That's one. You're right, sir. But why you're right, but at the same time wrong, the factor that contribute to it is the fact that we're low in productivity. We might not be having enough the cash to our disposal always to constantly just increase the social benefit programs. Whilst the gap is there to be filled, we must understand that, look, the factors that contribute to it sometimes are because Jamaicans are not, one, trained and certified enough to meet better opportunities or better paying opportunities. So therefore, the Jamaicans as a whole need to make themselves more competitive. You know what I mean? For example, online here, a lady would have commented on our live what they say, my daughter got 8 CXC and she can't get no work. But remember, Jamaica has 14 parishes, high schools in all. So your daughter would not have been the only one, or her daughter, sorry, would not have been the only child to have copped 8 CXCs. Doesn't matter how well she have done. Others must have done as well as she have, or near to that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what she has to do now is matriculate into another phase, giving herself what is called the competitive edge. So you're taking yourself above the minimum wage bracket. You understand? Too much Jamaicans okay in the minimum wage bracket. It's like them a work to survive, but not work to sustain their life, period.
Hold on, Delroy. That is a master argument. You can't just drop it like that. You are suggesting that we have to change the mindset of persons to move them out of simply surviving to being able to sustain themselves.
Exactly.
Huh?
Exactly. And to add to what Ricardo has said, I think a social program has to be on a needs basis. It can't just be across the board where you're just saying that every child that is born is on par. It has to be on a needs basis. With the government is not in a position to fund a social program of that
Yes.
extent. It has to be on a needs.
Father, you have children, sir?
Yes, me tell you, I have 4 of them.
It has to be on a needs basis.
And you-
But if
and
it's a
you are
case where
working.
you're in need, you can sign up for it. But the possibility is there for you to get it. But it has to be on a need basis, Ricardo. It can't just be a broadband across the board like that.
What's you may say no, boss? Like, what may I say now? Me a labor right now, so I don't really object with what government are doing. I just like feel like say people who really need it, they get it still. People who really
And
need
the
it,
avenues are there. The avenues are there for them. The avenues are there. The channels are there. The policies are there. The programs are there for them.
Ricardo, are you able to take care of your 4?
Yeah, because I have a working mentality, so me work to take care of my kids. So I have a working mentality. So
You are a responsible man, eh?
Yeah.
What do you say about the man who go out there, spilling seed, just impregnate girls and act irresponsible? Government must pick up that, eh?
No.
By the way, I want you to understand that when you talk about government, you're talking about us, and we pay for it,
Yes, man.
So when you say government must give them, government don't have the money, but it is the taxpayers of Jamaica that you are supposed to.
Yeah, you are going now. Me tell you something. Me is a Jamaican we left and there Canada, so me look a better life, see?
Yes.
I realize a whole heap of thing need to amend the Jamaica when it comes to father a Jamaica. Yes, a Jamaica, because you see in Canada, yeah, if you get a youth and you not take care of the youth and the mother should have find out so you work. Anyway, you are working. Before you get a paycheck in your account, the government take out for you with one person.
The government drop the money for picnic.
Yes, that's child support. That's child support, yes.
Yes, draw to you money first. And if you feel like say you can duck from the child support, you're not a driver's license, you lose your driver's license immediately.
You think that needs to happen down here, sir?
Yeah, so like you can't hide from your youth. You cannot hide from your youth in them country.
Yeah.
You understand what I say? So me think our government can look into them thing and take a period because
we have something like that, but it's not as robust as in first world countries. It is up to the fathers to go to the courthouse to make these payments. If these payments are not made, they can be prosecuted as well.
Okay.
Warrant will be out for the arrest.
Candy Dawson has joined us, the man with the independent ideology. We'll be getting to you, Candy Dawson. So let's listen to a little bit more of Mr. Warmington.
A leader across the south is used by the past and a long time. In past being used by this. We have a young leader that Jamaica wants. We don't want the one from the plantocracy. We don't want that.
Scratchy, the plantocracy. Is goal being of the plantocracy?
Well, based on the Jamaican where we're coming from, someone like Mark Golding will be seen as that. Definitely, most definitely. Persons will see that I mark him as that because of where we're coming from to where we're at now. And based on who is going up against someone like of a different ethnicity like Bruce, like in Andrew Honest, definitely people will see Mark Golding in that form.
So
But,
so so classism is alive in Jamaica.
I mean, I've always tell person Jamaica doesn't suffer from racism, but I don't think Jamaica suffer from some form of classism, most definitely.
So the plantocracy is alive here. You think that our politics hasn't evolved beyond the plantocracy?
To some extent, and I feel our Prime Minister, based on some of the attack that he's been receiving, is as a result of that.
Or would you say the Prime Minister is black?
Of course, the Prime Minister is black, and not only black, but based on his
strategy.
Of course, he's black, but not only black, but based on his humble beginnings that he's coming from. He might be judged from his beginning, where he's coming from.
Yes, out of Spanish Town, eh?
A little boy from out of Spanish Town who was raised to the highest office in the land. A lot of persons might look at it and say that he doesn't deserve to be in that position where he is.
So is the slaveocracy, which is known as the plantocracy. So it is the ruling class that or a political order that is composed of those persons who think that they are better off. Is that
exactly, and we have seen this opposition leader display those type of style. We have seen it talking. We always talk where we talk about his Tapanar, his friends, those type of jargons that he has used. He has added fuel to these conversations.
And the little boy.
Yes, and little boy and stuff like that. So he has added to this conversation as well.
But
Delroy?
Yes, sir.
You are from St. Elizabeth. Where
I am talking to you from St. Elizabeth presently.
Okay.
Yes,
where a lot of the British came in, and a lot of people don't know that them brown people on St. Elizabeth there is as a result of well, we are out of many one. But the slaveocracy, the plantocracy that Mr. Warmington speaks of, do you think that it is a fair criticism?
Yes, sir. To a great extent, I support Mr. Warmington's utterances, because it is quite blatant under my eyes why I should, you know what I mean? And it is happening now, and it has strangled the development for example, a specific area in Northeast St. Elizabeth. It strangles it, because at all times the wealth opportunity lies predominantly on one side, in both wealth in money and wealth in land.
Yes.
You're right. One person owns acres of land.
And as I said again, neighbor, I think it's Mr. Golding utterances that has added to this, that has caused this discussion. His own personal utterances.
So wholeness is one of us, but Golding is not.
Wholeness in society based on Mr. Wholeness. Again, I personally don't blame anyone for their situation where they're coming up with you're born with a gospel. You had no control over how you were born. But again, I think a lot of
shouldn't we be moving away from this type of discussion though? Shouldn't we be moving away from even the idea that the society can be divided along these lines?
Exactly, but again, I said it's the opposition. The opposition, they use this against Mr. Siaga as well, and it is now, yes, it is now rebuffing on the opposition leader now.
Yeah, Mr. Patterson said that if he came down off the platform and walked among the people, they would know the difference.
Yes, exactly. They used it against Mr. Siaga, and now it's Mr. Mahama and Mr. Golding. I don't think the Jamaica Labour Party is not one to push this type of narrative, but it is a Golding narrative that has caused it. Based on how he has talked about his Tapanar, his friend. He has talked about little boy. Those type of jargons, those type of slangs, those type of narratives send a negative message.
I hear multiple saying that Golding is not connecting, that he has tried to use the Jamaican dialect, him do a little bit of jigging, a little dancing, him move among the Jamaican people, but that it is not real.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the things that is not working for him. I think
Huh?
if Mr. Golden has come and if he had come and be who he is, be himself, speak how you were taught to speak from a boy coming up, act yourself. I think he's trying to, some form of culture vulture. And it's not
Culture vulture, you say, Scratchy?
yes, and it's clear, you can see it. It seems fake.
Hey, neighbor.
It seems so fake.
Neighbor,
Trust me.
The Jamaican man, listen, man, in talk. The man can't say Kingston.
Yes, you can see
You can't say
it
comrade.
in neighbor. It's clear. He's not connecting. You can see that this man is acting. Look at the Prime Minister. When the Prime Minister use certain slangs or certain jargon, it connects.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Let's see if we can get a little bit more from Mr. Warmington.
Before, in West Kingston, and they attack me, say I'm not racist. I'm not a racist. I went to white man country, study, make some money and come back. Not a racist. I'm a realist. Not a racist.
So he's not a racist, Scratchy. He's a realist. Is he connecting with the views of Jamaicans in this regard?
Mr. Golden.
Mr. Warmington, he says he's not a racist. So
As I said, us Jamaicans, we are not racist. I wouldn't consider Jamaicans as racist. We are not racist.
Jamaicans are not racist.
We are not racist, but we suffer from a classism problem, though. We suffer from classism.
So there still exists in the Jamaican socio-cultural reality a classist ideology that has separated us, eh?
Exactly. I strongly believe so. And any person who I would ask any person to come and challenge that, I strongly believe so.
Uptown,
In
downtown,
other
yeah?
words, the two Jamaicans that Mr. Siaga entered the political fray speaking about, you think it exists today?
It is still in existence. We have seen it, Jamaica.
But then we haven't made much progress then Scratchy. If we are still here today, 2025, 63 years after independence, that we exist in a classist society where uptown and downtown is not commingling, eh?
Exactly. And we have seen it. Look at a narrative with someone like a Usain Bolt. We have seen interviews where even Usain Bolt has done so much for this country. Usain Bolt is a multi-millionaire, he's a superstar. And Usain Bolt himself has gained some form of backlash from persons who we might consider as a neighbor. I hear him come out and interview and speak up those stuff. There are certain persons who are in the upper echelon who believe that because of your skin tone or because of where you were born, you don't deserve to be at a certain level. And that's the reality.
Statements like black man time now has not advanced the process, eh?
Definitely not. And you can see it's now being played back, and the PNP is hypocritical. They have used that slang over the years against and slander Mr. Siaga. And I would say that it is also it is lesser in some extent, because up to now, I don't think that race card or that is as used against Mark Golden.
But the PNP was successful in pulling the biggest race card in Jamaica, you know. The indirect job, that partisan job at Siaga by saying a black man time now. That is partisan trying to tell every man where black say, yo, listen to me. No matter listen to any policy be. All if to make you better. No, listen to any policy them be. A black man time now. And if Fox say a black man time now, I'm gonna make it black people, you know, like emotional politics there. The emotional politics culture in Jamaica is alive. It's very much alive. So when you play upon emotions, and we have a lot of emotional voters in Jamaica, voters who will deny things, right? Deny benefits because of emotions, personal emotions, caught victim of slangs and slogans. For example, I told somebody yesterday, one of the biggest setback in Jamaica, with no disrespect to women, but one of the biggest setback to Jamaica was when Jamaica made the mistake and selected Mama P or allowed PNP to shoot Mama P.
No.
Let me make my point, neighbor. Why? Mama P never have the know-how naturally or otherwise to drive Jamaica forward. Her own comrades. Hold on, neighbor, her own comrades in their bid. Remember how they dealt with her and called her all kind of things, how she had done. The fact that the current affairs of a country is a holistic thing, it has to be given to people not based on emotions, but based on caliber. You need credible,
Gender has nothing to do with competence. Gender.
Exactly. So when the Jamaican people made a mistake then thinking the gender was the reason why they should have voted, that was a mistake. You should have voted because of what she would have sounded like she going to bring to the table. But that's the reason why you hear a Labour tell you say, me voting a Portia time because I want to hear what woman would have bring. Yes, you wanted to hear what woman would have bring, but you never stop to check what would she bring before you put her in. That was a mistake. You understand? That was a setback to Jamaica. The PNP was only using a stunt to save PNP. And Jamaicans fell for the PNP stunt.
We want to be clear though. You see, people are listening. 43,000 people listened last week. Your competence and your gender, the fact of you being a woman does not say anything about your competence, especially today.
My exact point, Mr. Neighbor. She was never selected because of competence. And that was the national mistake of Jamaica. Fine, a woman can lead Jamaica, I support that. Once she has what is called competence or has the competencies to do it, not because of gender. At the time when Mama P was selected nationally, it was more of a gender elected prime minister than a competency thing. That's my point.
Well, I don't know of, I really don't know her competency level. I think that if you surround yourself with a team, then you can do wonders. I don't know about that. I
think leading a country has more to do with leadership qualities and leadership skills. I wouldn't tend to just sway on her gender alone. Because she won an election, she also lost an election. So I don't think it was based on just gender. If it was gender, she wouldn't lose an election. Again, we have seen around the world, we are seeing females now. In a surge, we have seen Margaret representing the Caribbean well.
Thatcher in Britain.
No, man, Scratchy, she got hold on, Scratchy, may you disagree this, sir. Scratchy, she got elected because of gender favorability. She got voted out because of lack of performance. So the gender thing neutralized her in the minds of Jamaicans. Hence, Labour to tell us, say, look, even me give Portia a vote because me did want to see what woman do. Over me hear that testimony, they never cared really about competency, Scratchy. So when they made that decision based on emotion, and then it never bear the results, they then voted and said, shit, this gender thing would have cut it.
Yeah. Well, to be frank with you, the way the PNP treated her, really, it was pretty disgraceful. But that's for another time. Let's listen a little bit more to one.
A realist. Okay? I said send him back on the banana boat.
Send him back on the banana boat, Scratchy.
Again, that's theatric for Mr. Warmington, you know, just to rally the crowd and get the crowd in that sense again, you know. To understand that Mr. Golden is not
the language, Scratchy, because
yes, the language is very strong.
From that type of language here, man.
Banana the language is very strong. And again, it's coming from a firebranded politician, Mr. Warmington. So I think yes, the language is very strong. I would agree to that.
Yes.
But Scratchy, remember 2012, 2011, and 20 my biggest PNP. If I vote Labour, I don't vote. Remember, 2012, 2011, time when them say nobody do a citizen in a parliament, you want a by-election, the country have to run them time there.
Yes.
Because of PNP. And I remember all of them time there. It
was 2007.
Or 7 for 2. I think 11. Or 7.
Yeah, that was 2007.
I think Warmington, Daryl Vaza more. After them give up them thing and run by election and whatever, because I see in PNP, I know they have Mark Golding in the way where they can't see him passport and all.
I think the issue with Mark Golding, and I don't think the last states that a Commonwealth person can sit in the parliament. Mark Golding, no, I think it's more of a ethnic, or it's more of a moral issue than a legal issue. I mean, running for the head of a country to be the prime minister, I strongly believe that you should have allegiance to just one country, the country that you're planning and support and being the prime minister for. But it's more of a moral issue.
But can't it, what a guy name? Bro, take a thought, because we see the boy from Tala.
Cantidosa.
Yeah.
Been changing, man. I wanted to go back to social programs, but I don't want to slow up on the conversation. So.
Sure, you can't touch on it, man, Cantidosa.
Well, I was agreeing with, your name is Ricardo. So, yes, so I was agreeing with Ricardo. If, speaking on the PATH program, every child that goes to a school in Jamaica should not be paying lunch money, lunch fee. They should be fed. If we as a society want to make sure that they are ready for an education and to come out of this education with some sense, the onus should be on us as a society by virtue of the government to make sure they have a meal to eat. Even the
you're recommending a social lunch program in schools?
Even the middle class kids get the free lunch.
I understand that.
Read, fam, hold on to scratch it. That's why reading is a crucial thing and listening in the fam. Since Dr. Dana Morris Dixon became Minister of Education, she, under her hands, they say the nutrition program in our schools in Jamaica has gotten increased funding, sir. When it was already existing, nobody will tell the people they not to go there so early. It was that general thing. So what you're saying, sir, is already happening. So if a medium with a car, what kind of class people pick the go to school and you know no lunch, that day he or she can still get lunch at school because the government today have made sure that they increase allocation in funding to the nutrition programs in primary schools and high schools. That recently get more funding under Dr. Dana Morris Dixon since she recently became Minister of Education. So fam, while you talk fam, don't make it look like things are not happening. Cause we not say, you sound like you're well read. So why if you sound like you're so well read, you don't dig into information, sir. Don't believe into surface thinking. It is happening. The PATH program had increased funding and yet the government went ahead again and still allocated more money to the nutrition programs already existing in schools.
And to add to what you're saying there, right, the People's National Party and the People's National Party government, PATH students were getting on 3 times a week. And it has now increased to 5 days a week.
Come up here, Glenn Bishop, and talk to me.
It has now increased to 5 times a week now. So where PATH kids are getting on. But I understand where you're saying that even the middle class kids should also get that form of attention. But again, that is so Cantidos, and I believe that who can pay should pay. Strong. That's just my personal belief.
All right.
The responder we're going to one.
Yeah, but see the fact they see the name of the program. The program is that the under Miss Morrison. It is Nutrition Products Limited. Yes, yeah, man. They increase the funding for nutrition in schools because they must get more food in their mouth so they can learn good. The government recognize that and fund money over there if that happen.
I support that, but my original statement stands, and you haven't. What I am saying is, increased funding is good, but the ideal here that I want, that I support, is that there should just be a universal lunch program. Full stop.
Can I butt in a little? I actually come for a clarification, but the topic that you're on, the topic that you're on, you see, it takes cash to care. So if you have a house that was poorly managed over the years, and you finally wake up and decide to set your house in order, you won't be able to do all the social things in that house in 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years. History matter. Don't matter how you're going to put it. History matters.
Yes. Glenn Bishop.
Yes,
Glenn?
I'm here, sir.
Bishop.
Welcome to the program. How are you?
Are you hearing me?
We are hearing you. Please remember.
Yes, man. Thanks for having me.
We're going to be respectful. You listen to me, me listen to you. Glenn?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Glenn.
Yes, man, I appreciate that more.
Tell me something. What is it that the PNP is selling to Jamaicans today that they're not buying? What them selling?
What the PNP is selling to Jamaica that they are not buying?
What it is that you are asking Jamaicans to vote for your party? What is it?
All right. First of all, I want to disassociate myself from what you are trying to do. I am not affiliated to the PNP. I am here on all of these platforms to raise the awareness of the Jamaican populace to a point where we are no longer speaking about people when we talk politics. It's when we speak to policies, when we speak to any government about what we want to see as the change, as the direction forward, instead of allowing these political affiliates to go wherever, and because one businessman is promising them some money for whatever to install a program on the Jamaican people, they collect that money and come with that policy.
Hold on, Mr. Glenn, hold on. Do not come over here and take our discussion what the way we're not asking.
Exactly. What is the point, Glenn?
Question is, what is the KNP selling?
No, you see, I want to speak on the points that I raised, and you're asking me something
What
else.
is the point you raise?
I cannot tell you. All right, here's the point that I want to raise to all of the persons listening, especially the persons who are part of the Jamaican populace or the voting populace. I want to say, stop allowing politicians to tell you that your only choice in a democracy is green or orange. The responsibility.
Only choice be. What them only existing other choice be? Hold on, the neighbor.
My neighbor.
So what them other choices be, my boss? Please tell the Jamaican people. What are the other choices? The other credible.
Lobbying.
To who? To which other two government or arm government people
No,
must lobby
man,
to?
you see-
Since then, nothing
you
lobby
see,
to none of the two.
the-
You
the
tell me which
word-
one.
You're to anyone, lobby for policies that can effect positive change in your
Like
life.
what? Like
That
what
is
policy?
You see,
Tell
all
us some.
right. No, we are approaching the end of a period or a term. So we are approaching an election. We are in an election year. I want Jamaicans to understand that anything that the politicians understand that the Jamaican masses want, that is exactly what they will campaign on. That is exactly what they will promise to you when they are on the platforms trying to roll, to rile up support.
It's a commitment, the same thing as a promise, Mr. Bishop. It's a commitment totally the same thing as a promise, sir.
So, Mr. Bishop, by exercising your right, by exercising your franchise or your right to vote, which other lobbying is more important than that?
Let me lobby now. Let me lobby. I want us, our you JLP supporters, to tell all of the teachers who are also persuaded by the JLP how the Jamaica Teaching Council or the JTC bill that the Andrew Holness administration is trying to pass, how it will improve education. Because I have read that bill, and all I'm seeing in that bill is, again, no new taxes,
teacher, sir?
but all of Jamaica's teachers.
Are you a teacher, sir?
Why is that question pertinent to the bill that I am talking about?
I'm asking if you're a teacher.
And I am asking you, how is that
Let me ask you a different way.
pertinent
Hold
to
on,
the
sir.
bill
Hold
that
on.
I
If
want
you're not
to
a teacher,
discuss?
Mr. Glenn, just a minute, scratchy. What narrative are you speaking from? First or third person narrative? Seem to like it that way.
But are you a teacher?
Let us talk about the bill, sir, and the provisions in
talk
the
about the
bill,
bill unless you're
and
a
what
teacher.
it will
Are you a
mean for
teacher?
the teachers.
I want to
We
talk
need
about
to
crime,
talk
so
about the-
I should
alright.
have
Alright,
opened the
alright.
floor to crime.
No, hold on.
Okay, I wish this.
Mr. Glenn, Bishop?
I wish on these programs, you guys, instead of being persuaded by your party to just
We're not
be out
persuaded
here
by no party,
advocating
sir. I'm
for
asking
your
if you're a
party,
teacher, sir.
you would have been out here advocating for the 101
Every talk we
that
talk
I'm
here,
seeing
we
now,
advocating
and
for the
99
rights
that
of
are
Jamaican
listening.
people to be represented at the highest level
Are
politically.
you a teacher, sir?
You're not a PMP and you say you're not a teacher. It's a simple
You
question.
realize you can't tell me
I'm a
how that-
contractor.
you realize that you can't tell me how your question is germane to the point I'm making.
I'm
All right,
asking
yes,
if you're
I am
a teacher. Are you a
Develop
teacher,
your
sir?
point now. Yes.
you're a teacher, Mr. Glenn?
I answer the question. The same
As a
answer
teacher,
applies.
as
Yes,
a teacher
sir.
then, as a
Yes,
teacher,
Mr. Host. Yes, go ahead.
as a teacher then, are you closer
sir.
with I'm sure this bill that the government is planning and passing, the government is not just forcing a bill on the public. I'm sure that the government has some form of negotiation being done between the JT and the ministry.
No,
Are you a
there's
part
no
of-
negotiation. The government is using political persuasion in the form of money. to get persons to sign up for this JTC bill.
I
They're
don't believe
trying
you,
to
sir.
have
I don't believe you, sir.
documentation.
I don't believe
They're
you, sir.
trying to have documentation
Sir, I do
of a
not
certain
believe
number.
you,
Make him
sir.
land,
You
Scratchy.
don't
We're
need
make
to
him
believe.
land.
You
Mr.
don't need
Glenn,
to
so you have
believe.
time.
Allow me
Scratchy, we're making
allow
land a
me to
minute.
divulge the
I don't
facts to
believe you,
Jamaica.
sir. You're
And
lying,
when I
sir.
divulge the facts to Jamaica,
You're
you
lying,
can
sir.
prove
A
me a
bill like
liar
that
with
cannot be
contrary
forced on us.
information.
A bill like that cannot be some form of
Then
negotiation.
please allow me to use.
Must be
Please allow
taking
me
place
to
towards that bill.
explain
Sir,
the
you're here
political
misleading
persuasion
for
that is
Mr.
being
Bishop.
used.
Mr.
Scratchy,
Bishop,
Scratchy.
Will
Let's
I
have a
be
bit of
allowed?
professionalism
Scratchy,
because we
you
can
know
answer
me
this,
talk.
you know. So make him talk a minute. Talk, my boss, and
Somebody
we're
not
going to give
making
you a
me talk.
chance. Hold on, sir. Hold
Let me
on.
talk for a minute, man.
We're making you land at 12:03. So it start again. Go on.
All right. The political persuasion that they're using is money. So they're having teachers signing up now for what they call to be a member of the Jamaican Teaching Council. And they are telling the teachers that if you sign up to this council, you can apply to become what they are calling a master teacher. The government is saying that they are willing to pay an unlimited amount of teachers in Jamaica this master teacher salary, which is the equivalent of a vice principal salary. But even though they have received some 17,000 and counting applications to become this master teachers, there are less than 10 master teachers appointed across the island. This is how you do with chickens. You drop some grain and you get them to go anywhere you want, even the butcher stall. And this is what the Jamaican this Andrew Holness-led administration is doing now to teachers. Let's go back to the JTC bill. The Jamaica Teachers Association, in collusion with the JLP, is saying that they are not in agreement with this JTC bill because, again, if we should read through that bill, you cannot show me any point that will improve the issues that teachers are having, or students, or any other
Stop
stakeholder
at
in
12:03,
education.
Mr. Guy,
is
and you can
having
stop and now
with
let us
this-
address yourself, please.
Hold on now, Mr.
I mean,
Bishop.
just get-
Hold on.
Idiots,
Hold on.
idiots,
Go mute you.
idiots,
Go mute you.
idiots.
Go ahead, Delroy.
Right? Go ahead, they're right.
Yeah, got you one love. No, man, got you one love. Me talk a lot.
Mr. Glenn, what I gather from that, you see, the Teachers Association of Jamaica over the years is always controlled by one party. So they use, and what percentage of teachers are members of the Teachers Association? A minority. So they use that place to sabotage the next government every time in power. So what the government is doing is broadcasting it, just like what they do to the taxi man. You don't have to go to an association to register your car. You go a transport authority and pay for your road lights. You don't have to go to an association. It's the same thing. But you guys are afraid because the Teachers Association is going to lose power based on what the government is doing. That is the whole point. Politics.
Do you know a little bit of about the bill, One Love, that if you could share with our listeners?
I don't know the detail of it, so I won't get into it. But I know the general summary from my sister.
Oh, can't you have any information? Because I don't.
No information here.
And you don't scratch it?
no, I don't know the full details of the bill. That's why I said that a bill like this, Mr. Neighbor, a bill like this the government cannot just pass a bill like this. It has to be in some form of negotiation in terms of how and where the government goes in terms of this bill. That's why I'm saying
It is woken up to the teachers.
Huh?
It is woken up to the teachers in general, and is a minority of the teachers join the Teachers Association that always negotiate. That is it.
Okay. I don't know how this bill.
But just a minute. Sorry to interrupt, but with all due respect, sir. Please to add
Lashika has some form of information on the bill and about
Lashika
that
has.
bill.
Glenn, please wait, Glenn, and let Aishika give us some information. And please don't bother with no propaganda over here. Yes, sir? Go ahead.
Let me tell you, good afternoon, everybody. I have not been following it thoroughly, I could tell you that. But one thing I can tell you, there is Jambar there is JTA there, there is a wide cross sector of the society. So they want to be able to do things and get away with it.
Sorry, I think did you say criminals?
Yes, they are there, right? So you
But
have
that's
people, right? So these are the things that they're trying to root out.
That's very strong. Criminal.
It is, and I'm going to say
but
it
a criminal
because-
is somebody who has been convicted of a crime, you know.
Right. So one of the things that they're saying is that people will go overseas, go do things, and come back and can come become a teacher.
And can become a teacher.
Right. So we have people within the JTA now, or within I wouldn't say JTA, but the teaching sector who were charged for child molestation,
drug trafficking,
and come back and
drug
teach.
trafficking, and come back and is within the He's saying that I am lying. I'm not lying. It is the truth. That was brought up in Parliament. Another thing is that they will start holding the teachers them more accountable, and that is one of the major problems. And
they
why
don't
I
want to be
decided
licensed as well, Ashika. So
right, and they don't want to be licensed
license.
because, and I think one of the things that came up as well, they were doing something like a police record or something like that, because
Exactly.
it's like they're saying the sector is too loose, basically. There's, when it comes to like maybe background checks and stuff like that. But I have not been following it. But the Joint Select Committee is still before the Parliament. It has nothing to do with
discussed at the Joint Select.
Yes,
neighbor.
It is still before the Parliament, because sometimes
Neighbor, the main thing is neighbor.
I'll give you one example.
Hold on,
I'll give you one example.
Resistance and being licensed. That's one of the main things that they reject.
Yes. License is one. License is one of the major thing,
because they don't want to be able to lose their license if they slip up.
It's like, if they
and
slip
performance
up, they
fee
will.
too. And performance is very mean.
One of the thing also is that they can get in trouble and them still receive. But I remember all of them PM benefit. I don't want to lie to you, but I know that these are the things that I know that is there. And I say this, that it has never been brought up that the government is trying to buy out the teachers. That is not true. Jambar is there, JTA is there, I think JFJ is there, sitting in Parliament, debating this bill. Currently, I think Favour is the head of that committee, if I'm not lying, right? So people can go sit and watch it and listen for themselves. Me never hear nothing about no money at no point in time about it, about what he is currently instigating.
Scratch it, bring
hear
on
that.
Janet and let him tell us what the lies that are being told here.
Come on, Glenn. Mr. Bishop.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
What lies are being told, Glenn?
The fact that you guys keep saying that you don't know anything about it, it means maybe you shouldn't speak.
Oh man, don't say you guys.
Maybe we should get.
I should just explain some things.
Each of the persons, each of the persons who just spoke on the JTC bill stated clearly for everyone listening that they don't know much about it.
All right, Mr. Bishop, to make it easier, let me show Bishop.
It's a bill.
What are your goals with the bill, Mr. Bishop?
First of all, let me just talk about the lies that you guys have been spewing. The JTA has more than 27,000 of the nation teachers registered as members of the JTA.
A solid PNP garrison.
Sir, you see, if it was a PNP garrison, the teachers would not have met in the night to pay themselves 25% increase, while the JLP oligarchs who are in the political seats.
Let me tell you
Which majority are you trying to take? Which majority are you turn which leadership of the JTA turn against?
This nation should be a democracy. This nation should be a democracy, you know, my friend. So based on what you are saying, we should have been able to sway the JTA to not accept that offer. The president of the JTA at the time got up out of the meeting, and the JTA still had the upcoming president sign the document. So don't tell us it's a PNP garrison, my friend. Let us understand that it is the JLP executive that is JLP persuaded that is calling themselves the JTA executive. My friend,
Glenn,
remember that you guys,
Glenn,
I unmuted
Glenn, you're
this time to
dishonest,
talk about
Glenn.
the bill.
Glenn, you're dishonest.
President of
You're
a
very
political agenda.
You're dishonest, and I'm
I
going
am
to say
dishonest.
this.
How am
You
I
can mute,
dishonest?
please. I'm going to highlight it now. I don't have much
Hold
time.
on,
May I
Glenn.
go just
Let her respond. Let her respond now. Let her
may I go
respond.
just drop this
You don't
and
do-
then may I go leave because I'm at work.
Yeah,
All
right.
right. So one of the most important thing, and the data is there to support it. The JTA president, each time that JTA president went back to the negotiation table, you know who they were lobbying for? The principals. If you look at the salary scale now, there's a teacher earning $3 million and a principal moving up to $11 million. Who were they
Ashika, say that
negotiating
again.
for?
Say that
There's a
again.
teacher. There are teachers earning $3 million and principal earning
And you
$11 million. Yes.
Yes.
Each time they went to the negotiation table, they went on behalf of the principals.
And
You
the
know what
bursars.
happened? You know what happened? Every time them go, them never did that. This is why we were having a disruption, because they keep increasing their benefits and they left the teachers there to
Teachers
suffer.
out.
It is online. It is right there right now to show you that this is what they negotiated for. Right? I have always said it. The gap is too wide between teachers and principal. Look at it for yourself. This is why there was a problem. It never no problem because principal never JLP never willing to pay the teachers. It was what they placed on the table. The salary scale for JTA is top heavy, and it is online to prove what I am saying. Hear what may I say? When you look at it, 3 million, I remember, I want to say 2.5, but I have seen this. Look at it, it is there. So that is what the problem. Udo never did, I be honest. You guys
They
weren't
couldn't
being
reject the
honest. So
25%
you
at the
guys-
time.
So you guys took the how much percent increase, and then the teachers, they must say, no, we don't want that. So while Uno never willing to drop off at least $1 million, so the teacher them could get $4 million and Uno take $10 million. That was the problem. I want to be honest.
And
I have
Lashika,
to
the
go back
vote
to
was
work
done.
later.
The vote was
Me, I
done,
hear
I
you.
believe, online, and they created one big uproar over it.
Goodbye, Ashika.
They created one big uproar
So
over the vote was done.
neighbor, when the teachers get a chance to vote for the 25%, they went for it because it's the biggest increase they've seen in about 50 years. And it's the same thing happening now.
That's
Yes.
under the salary review that happened.
Thank you very
Compensation,
much.
Salary compensation, yes.
Yes. 25%.
Yes.
Everything for Glenn is a lie.
The main thing, neighbor, is teachers don't want to be accountable. The teachers are scared of becoming licensed because they know that if they slip, they can lose that license. And they won't be able to teach again.
The challenge, Glenn, is that Ashika has left. So she can't be here to defend herself, you know. So we wouldn't want you to be saying anything to her that she can't.
And this is something that is in front of a joint select committee, neighbor.
Glenn, I want to teach them where after they left teaching college, one drive the Mercedes-Benz. Right after teaching college, right away he want to drive the latest Mercedes-Benz, which is okay. But Glenn,
And neighbor, this is
you have to
before
take
a
a time
joint
and
select.
grow. Government, nothing grant your salary away. As they go in, I bend the one drive and 300 them
Neighbor,
mindset you are
this
bash
is in
government.
front of a joint select committee. Glenn has other avenues where he can go and lobby. He's coming on here to try to spread some form of misinformation and propaganda in the wider atmosphere.
That
This is being done
propaganda,
between
that
the
propaganda is
JTA.
like that propaganda is like them saying the prime minister take Usain Bolt money. It actually worse.
There's a big disparity between principal and teacher salaries, and Glenn and the JTA is a big PNP garrison. When they voted for the
Neighbor.
25% increase, neighbor, the president at the time created a big uproar because it was done online or something to that extent.
Bring him back up, Scratchy. He's muted.
When he come back up, Glenn need to tell us
Yeah.
exactly
Come
what
up,
is
come up,
his
Glenn.
issues with the bill.
Neighbor, in the history of the Teachers Association, they only have PNP leaders. It's only one JLP leader ever lead the Teachers Association. You know how it happened? Uriel Reid, when he was a PNP activist, he was president of the Teachers Association, and then he switched over to the JLP. So that is the only JLP supporter ever chair the Teachers Association.
What you saying to
Neighbor,
me?
when we bring on back Glenn, we don't want Glenn to do much about Nigo, Torreira, Rigmarole. Glenn needs to just tell us what is his personal issues with the bill. That is that Glenn need to talk about.
Mr. Glenn, you are muted. You need to unmute your mic and come back up here. Tell us what the problem you are having with the bill.
First
What
of
are
all,
your
the problem
personal
that I'm
issues with
having
the bill,
is
Mr.
this
Bishop?
type of discourse. You see, this partisan type of discourse, it is contrary to the spirit of a democracy. I will have to live in Jamaica regardless of which party assumes the power after the general election. So my aim is to implement policies that I can live with, regardless of who wins. And that is why I'm trying to teach Jamaicans about a better approach to politics. You guys are clearly running a JLP propaganda campaign here.
No, don't bother with that.
You're not even concerned.
Are you what kind of thing that, brother? Are you come and say with your
Don't bother with that,
PNP
Mr.
propaganda,
Don't
brother?
bother with that, Mr.
Everything for you a lie, and you can't prove an opposing fact.
Don't bother with that,
Everything
Mr.
that was
Bishop.
uttered
Don't bother
here
with that, Mr.
can be
Bishop.
proven,
Neighbor, listen
but
to
yet
neighbor.
you can't
Neighbor.
prove an opposing
Neighbor.
fact.
Yes.
So you are the propaganda, is yes, sir?
Neighbor,
Can you take him down, sir?
Mr. Bishop cannot, Mr. Bishop up to now cannot tell us what are his personal issues with the bill. He's coming on here and creating one bag of rigmarole. Talk what your personal issues with the bill so we can shut them down to show you that it is all a political agenda of the JTA.
Yeah, bring over.
Sorry.
Kind.
I don't know if it make any sense.
It not make no sense because it takes cash to care. It takes cash to care. The government have a good economy some more. If you can appease public sector workers more and other arms of government. So it's a process, yo.
What
Again,
are
neighbor
we
and
to do with
Delroy,
Glenn?
neighbor.
What are we to do with Glenn? Because I don't like this.
Neighbor, when the teachers accepted the wage increase from the government, neighbor, the president at the time created a big uproar. She was mad, wanted to bring to court saying that the way how the teachers voted for the bill for the wage increase was illegal. That is what she was saying. This lady was trying to stick up the government. Literally, the teachers was basically the last set of person to join on to the government compensation, because of political views,
But isn't it true? Isn't it true, Scratchy, that the JTA has largely supported the People's National Party?
They are a PNP garrison. They are one of the biggest PNP garrisons.
It's a PNP garrison, not largely support. It is a PNP garrison.
They are a PNP garrison.
Yeah.
Neighbor, how can 27 members, majority of 27 members vote,
27
accept a wage increase, and the president, who is one single person, was against it? How can that make sense?
Remember the JP had an issue with Edith Alwood and this and that PNP surrogate, So at our time they dispatch, remember the words of Aluna Samba. Aluna Samba tells us that they put them PNP operatives in a places because they have an agenda. The agenda
I'm telling you,
if the PNP loses and another government assumes office, these surrogates, aims in these association is to discredit the government's ways and input in those sectors, making it appear that all time as if they can do more.
Teachers want a free reign to run around without any form of accountability.
I don't figure that they don't group in Edith Alwood.
Scratchy and adios. Neighbor, just to show you the biasness in them, all the years, 20 odd years, they've been getting 2% and 3% and ban your belly and wage freeze. Just to show you how hypocritical they are. And a government come and you 25% increase and you still have a problem. Good God Almighty, man.
All right, check this, neighbor. As a medical doctor, you have a license where if you violate that license, you cannot practice medical anywhere in the world no more. Teachers should be held at the same accountable. These are persons who are going around our kids, our children. We must know what are the criminal backgrounds of these persons. Are these persons criminal that we have in classrooms or not?
Yes, Glenn Bishop.
I'm not going to call anybody. I'm not gonna call anybody name. It's
Well,
neighbor.
see,
But there's
hold on one
a
love.
presently
Hold on
there's
one
a
love.
there's a PE teacher that is charged for sexual charge, spend his time and come back and teaching PE at the next school in St. Catherine.
Exactly. So when a teacher is charged
In the
with
same
sexual
parish.
abuse, that teacher can move on to a next school and go teach because there's no record of his offense on any form of platform or anything to show that this man is a sexual offender. We cannot have teachers running around. Teachers are very important. They are in contact with our kids 24/7. They must be held to some form of accountability, neighbor. The JTA is a PNP. Garrison and Mr. Bishop is a part of that. He